Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Mount Carmel Area High School Red Tornado Football. Tonight, the Red Tornadoes have traveled to historic Veterans Memorial Stadium here on the campus of Pottsville Area High School, where the Red Tornadoes will do battle with the Crimson Tide of Pottsville. Crimson Tide come into the game 6-2. The Red Tornadoes come into this game 4-4. Both teams, and we talked about this last week by a little bit more negatively than we wanted to, both teams still in a playoff hunt. Pottsville, of course, in a playoff hunt and actually trying to secure a home field playoff game. The Red Tornadoes, simply fighting for their playoff life. They could care less where they play as long as they get in. I am here tonight, Warren Altamore. I have along with me tonight Jose Gonzalo and Mark Stankiewicz, my longtime partner, who has, I can't even remember the last time he missed a football game, is not here tonight. Family obligations have taken him away. We miss him. I was going to tell you that he refused to leave the Shikellamy press box from last week, but no one would believe that. But we wish Wayne the best. We will see him next week. I guarantee he'll be back, but he's going to miss the game tonight. And Mark will be filling in ably as the color man. And, of course, Jose up here with the stats and giving us his own insights into the game.
Did you guys miss me last week?
Weren't you there?
I wasn't there last time. Come on.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
You weren't at the game.
No.
I missed that.
Where were you, Mark?
Well, I told Mr. McPhee to tell you guys that I quit and see what you guys would say, but
we didn't even hear that. We missed that.
Oh, well. Looks like Tornadoes are in for a rough game tonight. You know, we're going to have to fight hard.
Well, obviously, one of the most disappointing losses in the history of the program last week at Shikellamy. There's no explanation for it. But I will say, when you look at it, the Red Tornadoes handled it as best as you possibly can. They came off the field. Obviously, it was ugly. But in a couple of days, we were able to put it behind them, focus themselves on Pottsville. Again, beating Pottsville, a AAA school, is going to give them potentially enough points to keep them in the playoff hunt. And that's what they're focused on. And that's all they can focus on. So I think we're going to get a good game tonight. Now, it's raining, and, of course, that's 5 out of 8 times this year we've been to a football game, and it's been raining during it. So it's unusual. Now, not only is it raining, but it's very cold. It's one of those ugly, damp, cold, rainy nights. The rain will continue throughout the entire game, according to the weatherman. In fact, it will probably get harder as the evening goes on. So there's no relief from the rain tonight, and both teams are going to have to make do. If indeed it rains like they're saying, obviously the advantage goes to Pottsville guys because, again, running a wing tee offense, which is a good mud offense, 2 big backs, and they rely a lot on the running game more so than we do, more so than the passing game.
Oh, without a doubt, they have a really large line, and their Tornadoes are going to have to try to push them back a little bit.
Not only are they large, Mark, they have 2 Division I recruits, one to Connecticut and one to Virginia, and people don't offer scholarships early without reason. So the task for the Tornadoes tonight is definitely going to be a hard one, but I believe they're up for it, and I think they're going to give their best effort tonight.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, the 2 big guys that we're talking about are going to play on the same side of the line, correct?
Yeah, that's what our coaches told me. Yeah,
that's ugly. And as the game gets on, I'll let you know who they are. But I'll tell you what, they are. This is a big football team. Again, a AAA school, a lot of kids on the sideline, and a lot of size. And it'll be a tough game. But again, the Red Tornadoes, there is one change in the Red Tornado lineup. Wearing tonight number 54 will be Shinsky instead of his normal 34. Shinsky's wearing 54, and it's kicked off. It bounces in back of McFarland. He picks it up right at the goal line and just tripped up by Kufta. I'll tell you what, he had one more guy and he could see the end zone. But Kufta on a nice play, and he'll stop McFarland down around the 21.
Yeah, he thought that one was going to go into the end zone for a touchback, but it took an awkward bounce there.
Yeah, and the field now with the rain is muddy, so it didn't get any kind of bounce at all. When he left it go over his head, figuring he was safe, and he turned around and he thought, oh my goodness, it's not in the end zone. I got to turn around and get it.
Good pursuit by the Tornadoes, sticking with it.
All right, first offensive play of the evening for the Tide. Quarterback is number 5, Eric Lurick. He's got number 1, McFarland, and number 6, Feeney in back of him. And they'll do the bulk of the running. And this is McFarland. McFarland will pick up about 4 yards on the play.
Goins brought him down there.
James Goins on the stop for the Red Tornadoes. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6.
Warren, he told me in school the other day, according to your comment last week, I have to think of a nickname for him. So
yeah, we're working on him. Yeah, we're going to work on him. Yeah, he's definitely going to the next season with a nickname. I guaranteed him that.
I'll start working on that.
hard worker should have something associated with it because he is.
Oh, yeah. No, we'll work something out for him. Again, McFarland, almost the same play, and this time he's brought down for about a yard gain on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 5 with the Red Tornadoes, and again, it's Goins getting off the bottom of that pack.
Goins making his presence felt earlier.
Well, Goins is a guy we saw, starting in the beginning of the year. You want to see a kid progress game to game. James really did, of course, winning the Terry Award in the Shamokin game as a sophomore. How many sophomores have we seen in the history of that award to win? So, yeah, he's really come along and made a name for himself on that defensive line. All right, Lyric will bring him up, split backfield. He's going to go back to pass. He took a one-step pass, well covered by the Red Tornadoes. He was going to catch it around the 30, but would have not gotten the first down, and the Crimson Tide will be in a punt formation.
Yeah, Kowaleski was playing some tight coverage there. Even if he caught it, I'm not sure he would have got to the first down marker anyway.
No, I don't think so either. We played that very well. And again, the Pottsville team, not a big passing team. That's not what they're known for. Number 31, Mason Schaefer back to punt for the Crimson Tide. The Red Tornadoes back at their own 43-yard line awaiting the kick. Kind of a low-line drive. It bounces in front of the Tornadoes. There's nothing they can do about it. It will roll dead at the Red Tornado 39-yard line where they'll go on offense, 1st and 10, first time this evening.
Starting with some good field position here. That was good defensive possession, getting them to go 3 and out.
Of course, Kogut, the quarterback. A rare treat tonight. We have Phil Gergen, the sports information director, behind us. He's out of the rain tonight and standing in back of us here in the press box. So if we really need any information, we can just turn our head and ask. He's prepared. I can see that. All right, the Red Tornadoes come up in a split backfield. Kogut gets under center. And Demetrius on the carry, and Demetrius looking for the turn the corner, and he does. And Demetrius will pick up 3 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7 for the Red Tornadoes.
He got to the corner there and was able to pick up a few yards.
We lined up there, not in the I formation. We're in a split backfield to start the game. A little bit unusual for us when we start a game, but we're in a split backfield. Demetrius will be doing the bulk of the fullback duties tonight for the Red Tornadoes. Shinsky will be on the line right now as we are replacing someone on the line tonight. So you'll see Shinsky again wearing 54 in that lineup, and he's on the offensive line. This time we go with one guy in the backfield. We bring Ambrose, and Ambrose has faked at the pitch, and Haynes is the guy with the ball, but he is dropped down there by number 6, Feeney, almost immediately. In 95 down there, also on the stop for the Tide, and that looks like Corey Fisher, the senior. When I say senior, I can say senior every time because this is about the most senior-laden team for a starting group that you're going to find in a season. They are a veteran group and all seniors. We, on the other hand, you can see us tonight, and you'll watch us sometimes tonight on defense especially. We could actually be on defense without a starting senior in the lineup. Mm-hmm. All right, Demetrius will go on the lone back. Haynes goes into that slot position. It's trips left, and he rolls left. Flag goes down. Plenty of room for Kogut, but a flag on the play, and it's going to go, I'm pretty sure, against the Red Tornadoes, thrown right in the middle of the line.
Yeah, it might be a hold.
Yeah, a lot of running room for Kogut, though, on the play as they went trips and then rolled him that way. No pressure, and no one stepped up. Everyone went back into the defensive backfield. So I'm sure we'll see that again. They're going to mark this off, as we thought, against the Red Tornadoes.
His great protection, Warren, on the play that time, too, before he turned it upfield. I don't know if it was a design play or he just took off when people were covered. Coverage was, however, good.
He definitely had a lot of time there.
All right, that's a big penalty of the holding type. So the ball goes all the way back to the Red Tornado 29-yard line. It will be 3rd down and 20.
Difficult spot to put the offense in on their first possession here.
Oh, yeah. You got to be real careful here now. All right, he'll come out in a shotgun. Again, the trips, not a true trips in that we have a slot guy there, but everybody out to his left. He rolls that way, and this time he's in trouble. The Crimson Tide all over that play. He'll pick up 2 yards on the play up to the 31, and it's 4th down and punting situation for the Red Tornadoes.
Looked like they called the same play there. Just wasn't as open this time.
Same play. This time they put pressure on the corner and stopped him from rolling. So Kufta will begin to do the punting for the Red Tornadoes. We took our time there deciding we're going to punt, but they come in. And number 3 will line up. The Crimson Tide back on their own 38-yard line awaiting the kick. Flag flies instantly. It'll go against the Red Tornadoes, I'm pretty sure. A nice kick back to the 35-yard line. Beletza's the guy with the ball, and he's knocked out of bounds right at the 39-yard line by the Red Tornadoes. Demetrius getting off the pile down there.
Procedure against the Tornadoes. Gonna have to re-kick it.
Johnson also down there, and they're going to re-kick. And again, these are the things that have killed us all year long. Mm-hmm. You're in the 9th game of the season, and you're still making foolish penalties. So they'll mark it off. That'll take the ball down right to about the 25-yard line, just outside the 25-yard line. And we'll punt one more time. This time the Tide move up to their 43-yard line, where they'll await the kick. Nice kick. Beletza again, and Beletza heading to his own sideline, and he'll be knocked down right at the 50-yard line. And he's knocked down in there by number 50 for the Red Tornadoes, and that is Phil Chicatano. So the Tide will go on offense here, and they have good field position. They'll set the ball down.
Right on the 50.
Okay, almost directly on the 50-yard line. Just shading in the Crimson Tide territory, where Lurik will bring them up. Again, we're in the wing tee. Ball's on the ground. Fumble. They're still going. The Red Tornadoes have recovered it. Johnson on the recovery at the Tide 47-yard line. They bungled a handoff between the quarterback and the receiver, and it's a fumble. Was it Johnson 35?
Yeah, Johnson 32, isn't it?
I'm sorry.
No, Haynes is 32.
No, Johnson's 35. Yeah, right. Johnson's 35.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. Hey, it's like I've only made one mistake with numbers in the last 5 minutes, so I can understand that. All right, a big break for the Red Tornadoes. 7:36 remaining here in the first quarter, and the Red Tornadoes go on offense.
As you said, even with the rain, it's still going to be tough for the Tide to hold on to the ball.
There you saw the first casualty of this rain tonight. Ambrose in motion. We go up the middle with Haynes. Haynes finds a hole, and Haynes made a nice run down to the 36-yard line.
Looks like enough for the first.
Yep. And they signal. Let's see if they signaled it for. Yeah, I hope they did because the guy moved the chain already. So, yes, first down, Red Tornadoes. Ball down at the 35-yard line of the Tide.
That was our double wing set that we ran pretty much a lot all year with Ambrose in motion. He usually got the toss and just came back the other way. Good design on that.
All right, Red Tornadoes come up. They leave Haynes as the lone back in the backfield. DeMarco now goes in motion. And we give it inside to Ambrose, I believe. And Ambrose will take it down to the 31-yard line. It gained to about 4 on the play. It'll bring up second down and 6.
Trying to trick the Crimson Tide with some motion here early.
Well, Ambrose coming out of that slot position where they lined up 2 slot guys. They put one in motion and hand it to the other one. And pretty much a wing tee. It's a kind of a wing tee play going there right now for the Tornadoes. Hey, we're in the 9th game, and I'm starting to recognize plays, Mark. You know, this is how it works for me. And then all of a sudden, boom, it's over, and I'm back to.
The funny thing is, you're recognizing plays that we haven't run all year. That's what's interesting.
All right, the same formation, double slot, one guy in back, and again, DeMarco in motion. And this time, we're going to pitch to DeMarco. DeMarco's going to have to make the cut, and DeMarco actually gets hit behind the line of scrimmage, but carries himself down to the 33-yard line. He's going to come up about 3 yards short. It's third and a short 3.
That's still a good run by DeMarco to get a little bit of something out of nothing.
Yeah, he got hit real hard, and it actually twisted him, and he kept his feet churning and was able to pick some yardage up.
That's 6 running plays, 5 different running backs. Very interesting.
Spreading the wealth.
Yeah.
All right, now we go into a traditional I formation. That's Johnson in the fullback spot, correct? Is that 30? Yeah, that's Johnson in the fullback spot. The Tide jumped offside and made contact. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes.
Don't even have to run the play to get the first down on this one.
That's the way you like it there. That's the way you like to pick them up.
He's going to give him a big first down here.
Absolutely. This is as big as the last penalty they took that drove them back. This is just as big the other way. The Tornadoes now deep in Tide territory. The ball will be set down at the Tide 23-yard line where it's 1st and 10. All right, Haynes back in that lone back position, the double slot again. DeMarco and Ambrose are in the slot. This time it's Ambrose, and this time they pitch it to Ambrose, and he's dropped the ball. He'll fall on it. A loss on the play for the Red Tornadoes back at the 33-yard line, a 10-yard loss. It's 2nd down and 20.
Wet ball again.
Yep, couldn't hold on to it.
Saw the same thing from the Tide on their last possession.
I think Mark did a good thing there, though. Instead of trying to pick it up and run with it, maybe losing a ball, I think he just fell on it, kept possession, which is important in this position on the field.
Yeah, definitely, since it's only 2nd down, too.
Yep.
Demko in the lineup for the Red Tornadoes. Johnson, the lone back, the fullback in the backfield. Everybody trips right out in the formation. He looks downfield, and he's got his man, and he slides down. Jonas had some room, but slides down about the 22-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down. Let's see, third down and about 8. Yeah, well, 3rd down and 9. You're right. Okay,
we'll go 8.5.
Closer to it's closer to 9. See, I always watch him put it down. He started back there and he slowly stepped back, and now we're 3rd and 9. So a big. Of course, this is 2-down territory for the Red Tornadoes. So 3rd and 9. The big guy going into the Pottsville lineup. That's number 74. He's one of the guys I talked about. Gary Bardzak, the senior, one of the guys committed to the D1 school. All right, Haynes goes in motion. We look straight back, screenplay, and the Crimson Tide, that's number 95. Corey Fisher read the screen and actually almost intercepted the ball.
He did. He was waiting for the ball there.
So a nice play by the Tide and Fisher, and it's 4th down and 9 for the Red Tornadoes. And he saw that play from the minute the ball was snapped. He was all over it.
Good defensive play. This is a big play for the Tornadoes, guys.
Yes, it is. We're not sure how many times we'll be this close, so you want to take advantage, every time you are. Now we go into an I formation now. And the Red Tornadoes call a timeout. Now the Red Tornadoes got a timeout.
Timeout has been requested by the Red Tornadoes.
And so the Red Tornadoes will travel to the sideline there where they'll talk it over with the coaches and see what they want to run on this big 4th and 9.
Well, the game started out the way the Tornadoes would have liked, Warren. I mean, keeping possession of the ball, keeping the ball in the Tide territory, and we just got to take advantage right now and try to put something on the board.
Yep, no, absolutely.
It's probably a little bit out of Kufta's range, and I don't think he'd want to give that a shot now. We're looking at 39 yards. Kufta's probably comfortable from 34, 35 on in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he'd attempt
that.
Well,
yeah, plus these conditions, anything go wrong, the ball's wet, it gets muddy down there. So it's a little bit more problematic to attempt a field goal.
Like you were saying, Jose, it's definitely a good thing to not let the Tide come out here and run all over them in the beginning. Make a little statement for themselves.
The best way to keep them from scoring is keep the ball away from them, and I think Mike's got to be happy with being able to do that.
Seeing a little bit different from the Red Tornadoes, different offensive lineups and different players in different positions than we have all season here as the Red Tornadoes try to shake this lineup up and get some life into it. All right, we have a play called. We're going to go. Two guys split out to the right, shotgun formation. He leaves Haynes in as his protector. And whoa, the ball is all over the place. Ball way high. He sends it downfield. He's still trying to hit Jonas, but that was I don't know what happened with the center snap on that one. That one went way out of it went not only over his head, but off to the side.
Maybe thought they were snapping to a punter there. I don't know.
I don't know what happened, but consequently, the pass falls incomplete, and the Red Tornadoes have turned the ball over at the 3:25 mark of the first quarter here at Veterans Memorial. Tide go on offense from their 22. Lurick will bring them up. And go right up the middle. Handoff is to Feeney. Feeney takes it up over the 25 out to the 26-yard line. About a 4-yard gain, only second down and 6.
And they're really running that right side hard with their two D1 linemen.
Yeah, now we understand that they occasionally, and I'm guessing, depending on how we line up defensively, play to play, they will shift. But notice how they move 74 back and forth depending on where they want to go with the ball. Yeah, he's switching back and forth. Look at how tight that offensive formation is. This time he fakes it, looks up, and he had a guy wide open, Feeney. Feeney could not hold on to it. We didn't cover him coming out of the backfield, and he was wide open. But again, the rain, it continues to rain very hard and very difficult to hold on to the football. It's 3rd and 5. Actually, it's about 3rd and 6 for the Tide.
Another big defensive play here for the Red Tornadoes. Try to get the ball back and keep it out of the hands of the Tide offense.
All right, brings him up in the wing. It's one guy in motion. Red Tornadoes are adjusting. He looks into the way of the motion where he wants to throw downfield. He was trying to hit Buletza, but a little bit high, well covered by the Red Tornadoes, and the Tide will punt once again.
Defense is playing really well right now.
Yes, they are. They are at a high level right now, and that's good to see.
Hopefully they can keep that up for the remainder of the game here, but still early.
Litsky and Kogut, and they'll line up about, I'm guessing right around the right around the 43-yard line of the Red Tornadoes. That's where they're going to stand anyway, and they'll await the punt. A lot of time. Kind of pooch kicks it again. He pooch kicks it right in front of the Red Tornadoes, and they're going to have to let it roll dead. And that's an effective way to kick so far, as it rolls down to the 30, let's say 37-yard line where it's 1st and 10. He almost doesn't look like he extends his leg all the way and just kind of pooch kicks it down the field.
Yeah, it's a nice 37-yard pooch kick.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't look like a normal. In fact, even his leg doesn't look like it extends all the way. This from a man who's never kicked a ball in his life. I had a lot of opinions on that, didn't I?
You're entitled to them.
Well, so far nobody stopped me. So
go with it, then.
I figure I keep going until they cut my mic off. All right, now we go into an I formation, and it's DeMarco. DeMarco picking and choosing. DeMarco has some nice room, and DeMarco on a nice run, and he pops it out to the 45-yard line. An 8-yard gain. It's 2nd down and 2.
Yeah, DeMarco's keeping his feet moving, and he's getting some quality yards there.
Yeah, protecting the ball, too, in there.
Mm-hmm.
So the Red Tornadoes look very crisp so far on offense. A couple of mistakes. The fumble that they recovered, but dropped them 10 yards back, and then the missed snap. But otherwise, they're running very well tonight. All right. Haynes in the fullback spot in front of DeMarco. Red Tornadoes jump offside. And boy, if you're going to jump offside, that's the way to do it because there was no hiding that one there. He was well into the Pottsville defense before the flag went up. A 5-yard penalty, and now once again, and these are the things I talk about, in the 9th game of the season, you don't make 5-yard penalties like that. It's 2nd and 7 now for the Red Tornadoes.
That changes the play call totally here for the second down.
Absolutely, Mark. We were 2nd and 2. You got some momentum, and you kill yourself.
That's third penalty for 20 yards for Mount Carmel.
All right, the same formation as we come out, back in the I formation. Again, Haynes in front of DeMarco, something we have not seen a lot of.
Is that Haynes or Julius?
I'm thinking it's
Haynes.
Haynes. It's Haynes. DeMarco will try to break it up over the side. He'll pick up about 2 yards on the play. It will bring up 3rd down now and 5 for the Red Tornadoes. Actually, we're going to make it 3rd and 4. He picked up another yard, so 3rd and 4.
Under a minute here to play in the first quarter.
It's 3 rushes for 13 yards for DeMarco so far in the first quarter tonight.
I like this one. We get the stats during the game here.
Oh, yeah. It makes us look a lot smarter. Wayne and I always thought that.
Jose's the brains of the operation, huh?
Back to, no doubt. I formation now. Johnson in front of Haynes. We go back in a roll of pass. He looks downfield. He has Pahutski, and Pahutski's going to catch it, and it's good. He'll go out of bounds down along the tied 48-yard line. Boletza's the guy that pushes him out of bounds, but a nice play for the Red Tornadoes, and they're in tight territory. He went out of bounds actually at the 49. 1st and 10 from the 49.
And Koget's throwing the ball really well right now.
You know, and usually when you see a left-handed quarterback, you think that he'd be more comfortable rolling to his left, and Ryan is definitely just much more comfortable rolling to his right.
Yeah.
And I talked with Mike about that, and he just felt he just is, and I think he was on that play right there.
Definitely.
Yeah, that is a real unique way to throw it. Most of them would not like that, but he actually does better that way. And, hey, there's no telling. If that's what he likes, that's what we'll do. All right, DeMarco back in that fullback spot now. Haynes in front of him. And it's Haynes. And James Haynes picks up 3 good hard yards. They'll put it down at the 46-yard line, 2nd and 7 now for the Red Tornadoes. The rain continues to fall here. And it's kind of driving right to left here as it comes down. It's not coming straight down. It's kind of one of those wind-blown ugly ones. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the first quarter of play here at Pottsville with the score. The Red Tornadoes 0, the Crimson Tide 0.
And we can keep it within a score. We can stay in this football game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing we're looking at a low-scoring game myself here just because of the way the conditions are. The Red Tornadoes, a more wide-open offense so far and more successful passing the ball. I don't know. The Tide have not completed a pass in the game tonight. So that bodes well. And, again, this is a young Mount Carmel area team that, you know, every minute that goes by in a game like this, they start to feel more and more confident and start feeling like maybe this is their game. So, you know, again, after such a loss last week, the consensus would normally be, you know, flush the season and let's start basketball.
Lay down and
but
die.
that was not the case at all with the Red Tornadoes. And I have to give the coaching staff, Coach Brennan in particular, credit. That's the hardest thing you do as a coach is to get their heads back up. And he managed to do it. And you can see them playing here tonight. They are playing with some real energy and purpose.
Well, they had a great week of practice. And considering the loss last week, that's amazing.
All right, Shinsky in the backfield now, and he is wearing 34 again now, so I'll try to keep you apprised of his number, but he's in the backfield. And the Haynes will take it up over the 45 down to the 44-yard line.
He threw a flag down there,
and
too.
a flag went down.
Personal foul, I think.
A flag down, and it looks like it will go against the Tide. It was right along the Tide sideline where they're all standing, so there it is. A personal foul against the Crimson Tide.
That'll be a 15-yarder.
That's a costly penalty. I know that Coach Keating is going to have a long talk with somebody over that one because that's not his style of play, certainly. In fact, he's having his talk right now, so. And he'll get, believe me, he'll get hurt. So the big penalty takes the Red Tornadoes back into Tide territory all the way down at the Tide 29-yard line. It's 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes.
It's just somebody welcoming James back to Pottsville. It was just the way that he did it, I guess, that someone didn't appreciate.
Yep, of course, James Haynes began his career here at Pottsville for the Crimson Tide before moving into the Mount Carmel area program. I formation, and it's Shinsky. And Shinsky takes it down to the 34-yard line. They're going to set him down at the 35, so... Or the 25, I'm sorry, I'm saying 35, 25. So a gain of 4 on the play. It's 2nd down and 6.
The Red Tornadoes are consistently getting their 3-4 yards per run here.
Yeah, actually running very well tonight. And I'll tell you that they won't be tired because I think everybody who can touch the ball touched it so far in the game.
6th running back.
My goodness, they're not playing favorites tonight with the football.
We have to get Johnson a carry, and we'll get everybody a carry.
Yeah, he's been in the backfield. He hasn't touched it yet. All right. One guy really in the backfield, and it's Haynes, and Haynes gets the pitch. Shinsky's in front of him trying to make the block, and he couldn't make it. Shinsky couldn't get around the corner, and they'll stop Haynes at the 30-yard line. Haynes was trying to make the cut one way or the other and just ran out of space by the time the block got made. So a good play by the Crimson Tide to string that thing all the way down to the Red Tornadoes sideline, and it's now the loss on the play. It's 3rd and 11. They put Bardzak back in there again, the big guy. All right. Shotgun formation for Kogut. And Kogut's a keeper on this. And he goes right up the center of the field. And Kogut all the way inside the 20-yard line. It's 1st and 10. Red Tornadoes down at the 13-yard line.
That was a great call by the coach over there.
My goodness, you're absolutely right. I mean, that was a good call.
17-yard burst on a quarterback draw. Great call by Coach Brennan.
Red Tornadoes look completely different tonight than they did last week in the Shikellamy game. They're out here playing the way with that we knew they could, just hadn't seen them piece a whole game together like this.
They're here to prove it now.
All right, we go back into the shotgun formation. Haynes stays back as that protector, standing right next to him, but he give it to Haynes. Haynes has an opening, and Haynes running hard all the way down to the 6-yard line.
7-yard gain.
Absolutely, it's let's see, let's make it 2nd and 3 where they place the ball. You have better eyes than I am. I'm still waiting for you just said that, and he already had to just put the ball down there. But 2nd and 3, the ball just outside the 5-yard line of the Crimson Tide. And Shinsky lumbers back into the Red Tornado huddle.
Almost like a draw or a little delayed handoff. Same hole that Kogut ran through.
Yeah, pretty much the same hole. Yeah, just a little, you're right. Just a different ball carrier. Now back into the I formation. Shinsky in front of Haynes. The Tide where they're you don't see that very often. He completely leaped over the line and was in the backfield on his knees. That's offside against the Tide. That you do not see that very often.
Good athleticism, bad play.
Good, exactly, Mark. Exactly. That's a good way to put that one. So they're going to mark this penalty off, and they're going to set it down right to the 1st down. I would think it's going to be, it is. It's 1st and goal, and let's call the ball down at the 3-yard line. 1st and goal, Red Tornadoes from the 3. 8:45 remaining here in the 2nd quarter. I formation. Shinsky in front of Haynes. And it's Haynes, and Haynes pulls his way in. Touchdown, Red Tornadoes. At the 8:35 mark, Haynes on a 3-yard run. Shinsky in front of him, and it's 6-0 Red Tornadoes.
Welcome back to Pottsville.
Yes. Well, I mean, James, if one guy has anything to prove here tonight, it's James Haynes, and certainly running like he wants to prove it. He got hit by Corey Fisher right at the line of scrimmage almost, and literally bowled him right over into the end zone. All right, Kufta in to attempt the extra point out of the Pahutsky hold here. And again, these are not as easy as they look in conditions that are going on right now. And that's exactly what I mean. Pahutsky's looking down to throw it, and he throws it into the end zone. It's a jump ball, and it's going to go incomplete. But that's exactly what I meant. The rain is causing all types of problems holding on to the ball, and the score will remain the Red Tornadoes 6, the Crimson Tide nothing, and the Red Tornadoes getting ready to kick off. And guys, they look very, very crisp tonight.
Oh, definitely. That was a statement drive right there. Showed the Tide we're not here just to lay down.
No.
10 plays, 63 yards.
There you have it.
And it took almost 6 minutes off the clock.
It's the exact kind of drive they needed there to keep the Tide offense off the field.
Couldn't draw it up any better.
Well, last night at Supper Club, Mike talked extensively about getting this team on the scoreboard and getting them to feel good about themselves after a tough loss. And he felt if they could feel good about themselves early, they could stay in the game. And if they felt good about themselves long enough, they could win the game. And I think you're seeing the first part of that come true here, at least in the second quarter of this game.
Without a doubt, the momentum is 100% on the Red Tornado side.
All right, Kufta gets them lined up. The deep guy is McFarland for the Tide. He's standing down along his 10-yard line. The Red Tornadoes short a guy on special teams here.
Yeah, we're okay.
Yeah, well, he just had to take a step off the sideline to get in, so he didn't have a long run anyway.
Isn't that frustrating? I only play on kickoff teams. Why am I not?
And I wasn't in there. All right, Kufta lets it rip. A nice end-over-end kick. McFarland down around the 12-yard line. McFarland right up the middle of the field. He's got some room, but he's tripped up in there. And that's going to be Kufta, the kicker, who brings him down. But a nice return by McFarland all the way out to the Tide 35-yard line.
Tornado defense is playing well so far. See if they can keep it up.
All right, it's 1st and 10 now. The Tide trailing the first time in this game, 6-0. We'll see how they respond on offense. Ball's on the ground. Fumble. The Red Tornadoes have recovered it. The ball bounced all the way out to the 41-yard line. Somebody kicked it, I guess, because it came all the way out. And the Tide have fumbled the ball, and the Red Tornadoes take over.
Matt Kovaleski.
Kovaleski on the recovery.
Looks like the quarterback might have just dropped that one. One of the linemen might have kicked it.
But somebody kicked it because it rolled all the way. It rolled 6 yards into the secondary before somebody recovered it.
We talked about the Tornadoes needing breaks tonight, Warren, and so far they've gotten them. But they have to capitalize.
You need to get points off each one of these now. There's still 8:25 remaining in the second quarter. A lot of action happened in the last couple of seconds here. All right, we go into an I formation. Shinsky in front of Haynes. He'll put Pahutski in motion now. But it's Haynes, and Haynes looking for some room out there, and he's tackled in there hard by number 36 for the Tide. That's Neil King. And he'll pick up about 2 yards on the play. He'll bring 2nd down and 8.
That was a hard-earned 2 yards, though.
Yeah, King made a nice hit, but again, what you see from Haynes tonight is Haynes is not going backwards. He's falling forward on each carry, and that's what we knew he could give us. I mean, you're seeing the Haynes that everybody talked about for a long time. You're seeing him here tonight.
Warren, people forget he didn't play for a whole year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's just taking him time to get used to the system and get used to being hit again and keeping balance and whatever. He's a good football player.
All right, DeMarco now in the I-back spot, and DeMarco will be brought down. He'll gain a yard on the play. Number 40 coming off the bottom of the pile down there for the Tide, and that is Corey Schaefer. King also on the help on the stop. So it'll bring up 3rd down now and 6, a long 6 for the Red Tornadoes. Ball at the 37-yard line of the Tide. All right, a double wing now. Shinsky, the lone back in the backfield for the Red Tornadoes. And it's Ambrose, and they fake it to Ambrose, and in a quarterback keeper, and he was trying to get down. A flag goes down.
They're going to call something on the sideline here.
I can't believe it. It might be a sideline penalty, in fact, to tell you the truth.
Yep, I think so.
That would be odd. It's away from the play. The play went to the Red Tornado sideline, and the play was almost over. and you had the guy standing on the Pottsville Crimson Tide sideline throw the flag, and that's what it is.
Yep.
He's called a sideline penalty. So they must have they warned you first. So they must have been warned and ignored it. Now, is there a walk-off in this penalty or just a warning? That is the warning, I guess. Yeah, okay, it's not a penalty. He threw the flag, but it's not an actual walk-off penalty. What he has said is that the next time I come over here and you're standing on the field, it's going to be 5 yards.
You punting the ball, Warren, or you running? Are you going for it?
I'm going for it.
I'm going for it.
I'm punting.
You win.
Show off.
I just think it's no.
I know. I'm just kidding. The chance to pin him deep really is what you want to do now.
Yeah, defense is playing well.
We're playing so well defensively, Mark. You're right. That's where you want to go. So good call by Jose and of course the Red Tornadoes. And Kufta kind of pooches it. It's going to hit the ground right in front of us there, and it's picked up. Oh, it was picked up by number 8, Kojal.
Shinsky.
And Shinsky buried Kojal right at the 15-yard line. It's 1st and 10, tied. That's the kind of time where you pick it up and you think you're going to run and you run into a brick wall. And it was boom, boom, Shinsky standing at the 15, and he nailed him.
I don't think I would like running into that wall.
No, I could probably pass on that. All right, 1st and 10 tied now. 6:43 remaining in the second quarter. He brings up in the wing tee. Goes right up the middle, and it's Feeney up the middle. Feeney picks up some nice yardage out over the 30. They'll place the ball down at the 31-yard line, or the 21-yard line, not 31. I'm sorry, 21-yard line.
5-yard gain.
So, yep, about a 5-yard. You're right. 2nd and 5 for the Tide. All right. This time we go the other, and it's McCullum. McCullum, a great stop. They'll give him a yard on the play, but McCullum standing right there when they came through the line. And McFarland stopped for a yard gain. They'll give him 2 when he finally falls down. It'll bring up 3rd down and 3.
Yep.
Was a nice play by the defensive end, though. Big number 65.
Mike McCollum has been about as consistent as a player as we've had this year on defense.
Yeah, I agree.
He's played very well. Started off at defensive tackle, moved to defensive end, but has remained his level of consistency.
All right, 3rd and 3 now. Lurik, and he gives it to Feeney, and Feeney finds a little crack there, and Feeney will take it up for the 1st down out at the 28-yard line. 1st down for the Tide.
That was a big play for the Crimson Tide, not give the Tornado offense the ball back right away.
Not 4 and out and kick again. You're right. They've had a tough time.
First down. At the 5:11 mark of the second quarter.
Again, McFarland. And McFarland's going nowhere this time. The Red Tornadoes all over that. That's the other McCullum, 42, along with his brother, 65. The 2 McCullums in on that one, along with some help from Johnson, I believe, was also poking his head in there.
Yep.
It's 2nd down and 10 for the Tide. I'm surprised at how tight the Tide line up, Jose. For a wing T, they're almost heel to heel. There's not much gap in their offensive lineup on the line.
No, there isn't.
Drops back to pass. He has a man wide open. He got behind Kufta, and that's number 3, Beletza. Kufta did not tackle him, and Beletza takes it in at the 4:14 mark. The Crimson Tide are on the scoreboard. And again, it's a tackle you have to make. You simply have to make that tackle.
Is that the first completion of the game, Jose?
That's first completion. Yeah, they were over 3 going into that. Makes them 1 for 4, 72.
It's a tough play for the Tornadoes.
All right. I believe it's Barone, number 90. Use your good eyes, Mark. Who's in there to kick?
You got it.
All right. I'm impressed. Tony Barone in to attempt the extra point for the Tide. Look at this guy. He's a head-on kicker. It is up, and it is good. So the score at the 4:14 mark of the second quarter, it's the Red Tornadoes 6, the Crimson Tide 7.
Just a big play, guys. That's all it was.
72 yards.
You don't see a straight-on kicker too often. I mean, Luke Rose is back at Pottsville right now doing the kicking. If he had a square toe on that shoe, I'd be impressed.
Yeah.
I don't know if he did or not. You'll squared off flat front on your cleat. All right, the Tide get ready to kick it off. Brown will do the kickoff duties also as he set the tee down. Continues to rain, maybe a little bit harder right now than it was at the beginning of the game, and I said that's exactly what we expected. It began to rain almost at exactly just the moment that the weathermen said it would yesterday, if you were listening to the weather, so no surprise. They said it wouldn't, it did. Yeah, they were right on the money. All right, Brown lets it rip. Right down at the 10-yard line, it's DeMarco coming up the middle of the field, and DeMarco with a good run. And he'll take it all the way out to the 30-yard line where it's 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes.
Not bad field position to start this drive.
That was a nice run. About a 20-yard return for DeMarco.
Looks like the middle of the field might be taking a little bit of a beating right now. It's probably getting pretty slippery.
All right, I formation. Shinsky in front of Haynes. Koga draws straight back, something you don't see. He was trying to hit Avellino, but he threw it a little bit behind him. Avellino couldn't adjust in enough time to catch it. It's 2nd and 10. Avellino was actually open. He just got it a little bit behind him. That's a rare straight drop back for Kogut. He's not comfortable throwing that way, and he openly admit that he doesn't throw well on a straight drop back. He's better rolling when he throws, which is unusual because most guys will be more comfortable the other way. And of course, the sophomore quarterback, Washaleski, who's hurt for the season, he pretty much only does that. I mean, that's where he makes his bread and butter is that straight drop back and then let it wing. So 2 different styles of quarterbacks here. Ambrose goes in motion. We go the other way, and it goes nowhere. The Tide all over it. Probably a yard loss on the play. It's 3rd and 11.
There's DeMarco on the carry.
Yeah, DeMarco on the carry, but the Tide did not let any daylight happen there, and they drop him for about a yard loss. The Tide now feeling a little bit better about themselves as they lead by a point here in the game, 7-6. All right, again, the I formation. And it's Haynes on a delayed handoff, and Haynes will lose more yardage as the Tide now has tightened up on defense. Haynes dropped back down at the 25-yard line. It's now going to be 4th down and
13.
4th down about 13, or let's see. Well, see how he's holding it up? I learned. He hasn't put it down yet. I want to see where he sets it down first.
I'm going by the marker on the other side.
All right, now we're okay. You're right. It's 4th and 13. All right, the Red Tornadoes are going to have to kick, and they're calling.
The Tide called the timeout.
Somebody called the timeout. Okay, was it Tide first?
Yep.
Okay, timeout on the field there at the 3:04 mark of the second quarter of play. Here, a 1-point ball game. The Tide lead it on a long pass play. Well, guys, one thing I can safely say is, thank God we're in this press box tonight because it is just plain ugly out there.
It's not looking too good.
Oh, man, it's just ugly. It's cold. It's raining. It's raining harder now. Again, as I said, it just rains a little bit harder every minute the game goes by. And it will deteriorate. The field is in remarkably good condition. For the 9th game of the season, this field held up very well. There's some ugly spots right at the 5 and the 10 on each side where they pretty much do the extra points and that kind of stuff. But otherwise, very good field. Again, with the kind of rain that we had this year, and playing in the rain usually chews the field to death, but they did a nice job. The groundskeepers here know what they're doing.
Warren, I don't ever remember playing in a season like this, 5 out of 8 games raining.
Cliff gets off a short kick, but a nice roll. It will roll into Tide territory at the Tide 40 7-yard line where it's 1st and 10. The Tide have good field position. 2:52 remaining here in the first half of play. And that was like a knuckleball that went off his foot on that one.
He lucked out on that one.
Lucky it didn't bounce backwards.
All right, Lyric brings him up. It's a handoff, a delayed handoff to McFarland, and he's loose, and McFarland is gone. McFarland's going to take it into the end zone. A 53-yard run by Tom McFarland, the senior, and the Tide, excuse me, are on the board. It's 13-6.
2 big plays for the Tide so far.
Little delay in the handoff. He found the crease, and he was gone. And he's a big guy, but he's not slow. McFarland's 215 pounds, folks.
Pretty mobile.
Feeney's 182. Actually, the fullback a little smaller than the tailback in this formation, but or the running back. But they kind of, Barone puts it up, and it is good. They're in at wing T. There's really no, I guess they're both halfbacks is how you'd look at them, but one markedly bigger than the other one. So at the 2:42 mark here at the Veterans Stadium, it is the Tide 14, the Red Tornadoes 6.
1971, 35 years ago, the Crimson Tide defeated the for 6 straight victories.
2 big plays, Warren. Just totally changed the complexion of this football game.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Other than those 2 plays, Mount Carmel defense isn't playing bad at all.
Jim Shields scored a 95-yard fumble recovery for the Tide. Marengo was 5 for 5 extra points.
All right, Barone, number 90 down there. He's a senior. He's 6 foot, 213 pounds. He's a rather large guy for a kicker. And again, and oddly enough, a straight-on kicker. You see almost none of that anymore in any level of football, but he is. So a throwback, and he kicks it. A nice kick all the way down to the 10 where DeMarco will take it. DeMarco heads to the middle of the field. He's brought down instantly. That's number 28 for the Tide, Jordan Zenanek, and he put him down fast.
23-yard line.
So it'll be 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes.
Tornadoes need to reestablish their running game here, I think.
You're right. They have to stay patient and continue to do what they were doing to start this football game. And when you're behind by 8, sometimes you lose that.
All right, Kogut trots in the huddle with the play. And we'll come into a split backfield now. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No. We go into the I formation again, and it's Shinsky in front of Haynes. Haynes going to head to the Red Tornadoes sideline, and Haynes will not get out of there. That's number 3, Boletza, pushing Haynes out for a loss on the play. And all of a sudden, the Red Tornado offense is stalled.
Yeah, they were being successful running up the middle. Now they're trying to run to the outside a little bit too much, I think.
All right, it's a 4-yard loss. So it's 2nd and 14 now for the Tornadoes. 2:04 and counting here in the second quarter. All right, it's Haynes, and Haynes again piled up for he'll get about a yard on the play, but
That's it.
especially on that side of the ball, that was number 8 down there, Kozel and Boletza, that crew on that one. They're actually on the right defensive side of the ball for the Tide. They are all over it, and it is 3rd down and 13 for the Tide. A timeout on the field for the Red Tornadoes as Coach Brennan trots into that Tornado huddle where he wants to talk, and I'm sure he's getting a little bit worried. They played so well in the first quarter and the first half of the second quarter, and all of a sudden now the Tide are controlling the line of scrimmage. The Red Tornadoes are not able to do anything offensively.
9,000 fans at the Silver Bowl. 3 big plays were the difference. McPainter cut 61 yards upfield, setting up the first touchdown pass to Jeff Miller. Painter hit Miller again for a 59-yard pass game. After which Don Silva easily ran from the final yardage
All right. The Red Tornadoes with a minute 36. Now, here's the deal. It's 3rd and 13. What they don't want to do, hopefully, is kick again because they're going to be kicking deep and get the Tide good field position with about a minute or so left here in the first half, and that's what they're thinking now. I don't know what the range of the kicker is, Barone, but one of the things to think about with Barone is, and it's a little kicking stuff I learned from Wayne one time. The straight-on kicker is a little bit better off in a muddy field than the sidewinder is. So they may be thinking as Kogut looks, and Kogut on a keeper, and Kogut's loose.
There he goes.
A quarterback keeper, and Kogut's going to go down the sideline. A 79-yard run by the quarterback on another keeper, and it's on the scoreboard for the Red Tornadoes.
Another great call with that draw.
Oh, my goodness, folks. What a call for the Red Tornadoes. 79 yards for the touchdown. It's 14-12. Tied. The Red Tornadoes about to attempt the extra point, and Coach Brennan calls his final timeout of the half as he wants to get this extra point attempt straightened out.
Go for 2, probably.
Okay, now he's going for 2. What are you doing?
I'm going for 2. I don't think you have a
Guy
choice.
next to you is going for 2. Okay, I'm going to be a sheep and go to 2 with all you guys. The press box just went into the complete approval of a 2-point play. Well, I tell you what, just like that, Kogut, I mean, 2 big runs now, one of them for a touchdown, but I'll tell you, 79 yards ain't bad.
What a great call.
You know what, I was just about to say how the Tornadoes haven't had that many big plays this year. I'm glad I didn't because he probably would have jumped all over me.
I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have. I would have shown you mercy.
Well, it's not the first time Ryan Kogut has made plays like that. Remember Shamokin 2 years ago, 98-yard run from down near the end zone. It won that football game for him. And he, obviously a former running back, knows how to do it, knows how to run away from people. Good speed, not great speed, good speed.
Yeah. Well, that's what we talked about last week a lot, was that dimension that he brought, that Washlist. He doesn't bring as much. Now, Washlist is a much better passer, but not the running. And so you're pretty sure that he's not going to let loose on a quarterback keeper as much. With Kogut, in the back of your mind, every time he goes back to pass, you have to wonder if he's going to run the ball. So here you have it, and you guys are right. It is a 2-point attempt. He's got 2 guys split to his right. But he looks left. He's got a guy open, and he's got him.
Dave Avellino.
Dave Avellino. No. Is that Dave? Was that Dave?
Yep.
Looks like Dave.
Dave Avellino for the 2-point conversion, and the score is tied. 14-14 here at the 121 mark of the first half of play. And Big Red has struck back with lightning here in this rainstorm.
What can you say?
You're speechless on that one?
Yeah, you live by the sword, die by the sword. You gave up the big plays. You only deserve to get one back.
Absolutely,
right.
Absolutely. The Red Tornadoes playing extremely well tonight, folks. I mean, a completely different team on the field tonight than we saw 7 days ago at Shikellamy. This is the Red Tornado team that we all thought was here and we all hoped was here, and they have brought their game tonight.
Warren, I just think it was a case of confidence. I don't know that we had the same lineup out there most of the season, and I don't know if they knew who was next to them week to week, and I just think they finally figured it out, and I think they're starting to believe in themselves.
Yeah.
And I think it's huge. The mental part of football is just immeasurable.
That's why I was never good at it.
That's why we brought you up on
It's 2 times I've left him speechless so far tonight now. See, Wayne's never speechless.
Well,
you can tell he's a rookie here.
He always has witty comments to come back.
Well, I'm glad we brought you back home tonight, brought you back up on a JV bus where you were used to driving.
That may have been the thing. That may have been the difference. I actually traveled folks here with the team as Kufta bounces it on a
very impressive first half by the Tornadoes.
Yep, you're right. I mean, you can't say enough about them. They are playing tough. All right. Little bit different formation as both backs are standing a little bit off, but we're right up the middle, and that's number 6, Feeney.
Sean McCullum.
McCullum on the stop.
Tornadoes just have to make sure they don't give up another big play here before the end of the half.
No huddle.
Lurick, and he's back to pass. Lurick looking downfield. He's looking downfield, and he's got, well, he had his man. He was looking at number 3, Beletza, and quite frankly, went right through Beletza's hands that time. I thought for sure he caught it, and it bounced through his hands, off his knee pad, and back out onto the field.
I think he was looking where he was at on the field, looking to go out of bounds, stop the clock, and he just forgot to catch the ball.
Yeah, he had a lot of, you're right. He had a lot of things on his mind there. He was trying to stop the clock. He was trying to see where everybody was, and he just couldn't concentrate on the ball. So 49 seconds here remaining. The clock stopped on the incompletion, and it's 3rd and 7 for the Tide. Lurick straight back to pass this time. Looks downfield. Same play as before, but he's long. The Red Tornadoes all over it. Kufta well covered. He was trying to hit number 9 down there, Jared Cicero. And it's 4th down.
Kufta made sure he didn't get open on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So 4th down, and the Tide will kick, and that's what the Red Tornadoes wanted. They wanted to go in here at a halftime. They wanted it tied up, and they got it. I look back, and Phil is shaking his head in the affirmative, so he's happy right now. All right, Schaefer back to kick it. The Red Tornadoes will let it drop, and I'm not sure why we wouldn't have picked that one up, to tell you the truth. That one we might have wanted to, but again, it means little. There's only 30 seconds left here in the half. The Red Tornadoes will be content with taking a knee on this and getting out of the first half all tied up. That was a
51-yard punt. Warren.
Just the reaction I have every time we let the ball roll. I hate that. Even though, again, you don't want to fumble, you don't want to do anything goofy, but me, I just have this, just please don't do that.
One of the radio guys is saying I would take a knee, and I'm pretty much in agreement. I don't want to put this ball out in the open anywhere.
I need to tell you this right now. Never, ever agree with the radio, your TV. Okay?
Well, then this is the first.
Now, you can talk to the news guy over here, to the paper guy, but you can't be talking about radio guys, okay? Now, cut it out.
I'm going with Jose.
I just don't want to see a Joe Pisarcik play, and that's showing my age, too.
All right, and Kogut does exactly what everybody in a flag down. Only 2 seconds went off the clock, and a flag flew, which is hard to believe we'd go offside on the take a knee play, but we did. Now the ball goes back to the 5. So again, we need to be extremely careful here, guys. In a driving rainstorm on our own 5 with 28 seconds left, it's 2nd down, or will it be 1st and 10, or 1st and 15, I'm sorry, from the 5. So you don't have a lot of room to fool around here. And now Kogut will take a knee. Now, do the Tide call a timeout or not? And they choose not. So the half, as both teams go to their sideline, both of them are content to go in and try to get dried off here. The Tide, obviously, now the Red Tornadoes are huddling. I'm not sure what they were doing. They were huddled down around the 20-yard line, but they have made the decision to make the turn now, and both teams are heading, and that's it. 0-0-0 on the clock. So at the end of the first half of play here from Pottsville, it's the Red Tornadoes 14, the Crimson Tide 14. We'll be back shortly with the first half stats. Score all tied up 14-14 here, and a great battle between two longtime rivals, the Tide and the Red Tornadoes. And Jose, what was that first half looking like for us?
Well, Warren, what can I tell you? 14-14, the half of the big play. Pottsville 11 rushes, 76 yards, 1 of 6 passing for 72. McFarland leading rusher 5 for 59 yards, and Beletza with the 1 pass reception for 72 and 3 first downs. Other than the 2 plays, Mount Carmel's defense has been steadfast and wonderful in the first half. For Mount Carmel, 24 rushes, 133 yards. Of course, the big one on that with Ryan Kogut's 79-yard touchdown. 2 of 6 passing for 18 yards. James Haynes, 11 for 19. Kogut, 4 for 98. DeMarco, 5 for 13. Demetrius, 1 for 3. Ambrose, 2 for -4. And Boom Boom Shinsky, 1 for 4. Jonas Bahutsky on the 2 receptions for 18, 7 first downs. As we said coming into this game, it's the rubber match, 28 wins each. And it's at halftime, it's 14-all. Looks like nobody wants it, or both teams are fighting for it.
I think it's just really a hard-fought battle. One of the things we didn't talk enough about in the beginning was we talked so much about this year with so many new teams and teams we never saw. and then the comfort of going back to old rivals, the Shamokans, the North Schuylkills, the Shikelimis, and I don't want to leave out the Pottsvilles because the Crimson Tide, this rivalry has gone on for a long, long time, and it has been a fantastic rival. We talked, Jose in here coming up on the bus. We got here early, so we got to talk to some of the early comers up here, and to a man and a woman, they all talked about this rivalry, and of course, Coach Flynn and Coach Dimnick in the 70s, and that was going head to head. So really brings something different to Coal Region football when you see these two teams meet. And I was thinking to myself, Jose and Mark, you wouldn't remember as much, but Jose and myself going back, one of the things you look at the Pottsville team, you look at the Mount Carmel team on the field, the color is exactly the same. That helmet, that Crimson Tide helmet hasn't changed since the 60s or more. The Red Tornadoes still wearing that red and white, nothing on the side helmet with the stripe down the middle of it. Just like it was in 1970, it is here in 2006 for these two teams. And you like to see that. Coach Keating, I think Pottsville's been running the wing tee and the veer forever. I don't think they ever didn't run the thing.
Coach Flynn just lived with the veer, and Coach Keating has changed it a little bit to the wing tee, but they still look the same. So they're still disciplined. They still have the same 6'1", 200-pound kid, and it just doesn't change at all. And it is great to play them. I hope we can continue the thing. If we get into the new league and if that all happens for us, we can still have room for 3 or 4 rivalries, and I hope we keep this one on the schedule.
Yeah, if you were going to pick, you'd pick Pottsville, you'd pick Shamokin will be in the league, so they'll be somebody you're playing. You'd pick, I would probably pick a North Schuylkill. And you want to keep them on that schedule and play
Southern,
them. Southern will be in the league just probably in a different division, I'm guessing the way they lined it up. But, yeah, you'd play a crossover game with Southern, obviously. But, yeah, I think to a person and standing in there, there's a nice crowd here despite the rain. And as I told you earlier, we're going to start the second half of play, and now it's an official, outright, ugly downpour. It is pouring rain right now as we get ready to start this second half. So, again, that will dictate the way this game is played. As I said, Pottsville probably kind of likes this because it lends itself to a wing tee, smash mouth, big, tough back football. The Red Tornadoes, while they can play that and have proved that in the first half, again, a little more wide open, a little more, speed kind of finesse team. So it'll be interesting to see now the Crimson Tide get ready, and here they go. Barone will kick it off. And he kicks it deep, and it's going down around the 7-yard line, and it's Haynes. And Haynes right up the middle, and Haynes will take it up over the 25-yard line all the way out to the 29-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes.
Well, Warren, like we talked about, so many games that are close. This is the key drive of the football game. Coming out in the third quarter, you establish yourself back on offense, or the defense stuffs you and gets the ball back in good field position. It is so important to a game, especially in a 14-14 tie in these conditions.
Now, we've lost a starting fullback. I didn't talk about it much in the first half. I was waiting to see whether he'd come back in, but Julius Demetrius, who started the game and who was expected to play the most minutes in this game, is out and will not come back in tonight. He was hurt in the first half, and we will not see him play. Haynes got himself some room, and James Haynes all the way out to the 49-yard line. The ball hit the ground, and they're going to say that it was, I think he was down when the ball came out. Either way, it's Red Tornado football at midfield and a big run by Haynes.
That's a big play for Haynes there to come out and get a big first down, move him in a better field position.
Haynes is either hurt or he's mud caked. I think he's mud caked. He can't get the mud out of his face mask. Oh man, that is ugly. He's got a face full of dirt and there right at the 50-yard line. They're trying to clean it out. In fact, he's going to have to go out of the game. He simply can't get his face cleaned off from all the stuff that got jammed in there. So he'll take off and go to the sideline for a good rinsing off. And all he has to do is take his helmet off and get rinsed off in this weather. All right, we'll come out now with Shinsky. We're in a double slot. Shinsky, the lone back at Kogut. Ambrose in motion, but it's Shinsky. And Shinsky met right at the line of scrimmage down there by number 6, Matt Feeney. And Feeney will stop him for no gain on the play. It's 2nd and 10.
Tyler Smith also in on the tackle.
All right, Haynes looks like he's looks like we got at least the first 500 pounds of dirt off him. I think he's coming in now out of his face mask. So Haynes returns to the lineup with the play for Kogut on the 2nd down call. Ball just inside the Crimson Tide end of the field at the 50. Wide right in the formation, but we pitch it to Ambrose going the other way. He gets a great block from Haynes. He makes the turn. He'll pick up about 3 yards, but a great block by James Haynes as he ran around the corner, knocked this guy off his feet.
Just laid him out.
That's what you want to see. Ooh, that you could hear the crack even in the rain up here on that play. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go out on a limb here, but this is James Haynes' real coming out party here. He's made some nice plays this year, but this is the first we've seen a full-blown, do-everything, killer kind of game from him, and he's doing it tonight.
I'm sure he wants to impress people up there.
Well, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt that he's playing on the old home field. I'll give you that. He's got some extra incentive, certainly, but playing a very good football game tonight for the Red Tornadoes. All right, 3rd and 8, they come out in a split backfield. Kogut back to pass. He looks downfield, and he threw it almost. He did.
Nope.
No, I thought it was intercepted. He threw it right at him. I mean, he threw it right at him. They were trying to complete a screen pass, and Neil King, he was just standing right in front. There's no way, and he threw it right at him, and I don't know how he didn't hold on to it, but a good break for the Red Tornadoes. They'll have to punt, but it certainly beats throwing the interception at the midfield stripe.
Yeah, that's 2 times tonight that we've seen Kogut throw that ball right into the...
Yeah, I'm not sure how he didn't see King, but he threw it right at him. King was standing right in his way when he let it go. All right, Kufta will let it rip here for the Red Tornadoes. A high snap, feels it well. He slips, but the punt gets away. The Red Tornadoes are going to follow. The Tide has to let it hit, and it goes inside the 15 down to the 16. That play looked like it was a mess from the start, and he managed to get off a great punt.
His snap was high, but he made a good catch and still got it off.
He had a high snap, he had pressure, and then he slipped just as he was kicking the yard line.
Nice 34-yard punt from Marcus Kufta.
Yeah, considering all the things happening on that play, that was a great punt. Fullback Feeney right up the middle, and Feeney drives out to the 20-yard line. 6-yard gain on the play, 2nd and 4. A good surge on that play for the Tide. It's the 2nd or 3rd time they run Feeney right up the middle, and he's picked up 5 and 6 yards when he did it. All right, and it's McFarland, and he'll go down. The Red Tornadoes hit him in the backfield. I'm trying to see who gets off the play down there. And it's Shinsky getting off the bottom there.
Still got a couple of yards there somehow.
Yeah, he spun around at the last minute and picked up some yardage, and now it's 3rd down.
Less than
Let's
1.
see, they're going to call it. Yeah, they're not going to measure it, so it's 3rd down and... Yeah, real close. You're right. It's inside of 1 yard, Mark. You're right. I thought they were going to... The way he was looking, I think he was going to call him out to measure it. It's that close, but he doesn't. So McFarland did some nice work there to get over the line of scrimmage after being hit in the backfield. This time it is Feeney, and Feeney's loose in that Red Tornado backfield. Feeney is a load to bring mark of the 3rd quarter.
First down Tide at their 35.
Feeney again. And Feeney picking up big yardage. Another 5 ripped off. They're up to the 40-yard line. It's 2nd and 5. As the Tornadoes are struggling now to contain Feeney. And he's running right at the middle, right between the 2 guards.
He's going right at him.
Score, Marion handing Jim Thorpe their first loss of the season, 21-14.
All right, Lyric brings them up. And again, same play. And now they're playing real smash mouth now as the same exact play, Feeney again. And they're going to keep going to that until the Red Tornadoes stop it. Now, they had some success that time. Gained about 3 yards on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2 for the Tide. The ball sitting at the Tide 42-yard line. So the Tide have decided to quit fooling around on offense and have basically decided to stick right to that big guy and right up the middle. They're not trying to get outside any longer, at least so far in this third quarter.
Yeah, but you've seen this before, Warren. Inside, and suddenly outside.
Again, right in the middle. And he'll take it down just about the 45. Yeah, he's real close where they put the ball down. He didn't get, if they put the ball down where they're showing it, I don't think he got it. But let's see where they actually mark it. And if they mark it on the 40 and it touches the 45.
They're going to have to measure this one.
Boy, it's going to be real close. The yard marker's right at the 45. The ball's touching the 45. So we'll wait and see as they call a timeout.
I don't think he got it.
You don't think so?
Marker over there says 4th down.
I think it's about 4 inches, 6 inches.
Man, you guys are just living on the edge tonight. I'm impressed with the two of you.
Short.
You're right. Okay, it's 4 inches. Big deal. Show off. You called it. 4th down, and the ball in Tide territory. Now,
they're going.
The Tide's going to go for it here, and that's a good call, Mark. You're right. That's a good call right there for Coach Keating. Give them some confidence, and they're moving the ball pretty well now. He doesn't want to have to punt it away. And I can't imagine this would go anywhere but right at the middle, and probably with Lurick on this one. It does, and Lurick picks it up. So it's 1st down, Crimson Tide in Red Tornado territory at the Red Tornado, 47-yard line, 6 minutes and 51 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Nothing special about that play, just the quarterback sneak.
Yeah, you had to know he was going that way. Just the way they lined up, you knew that's where it was heading. So the Tide on a nice offensive march here to start the second half off. Pass play, and this time Lurick looks downfield, and he's got Feeney wide open, and Feeney's going to be taken down, but a penalty flag right along the sideline, and again, that was a goofy play there for the Tide. They should not have done that. They didn't need to do that block. It was after he went past them, and it's going to be a big penalty against the Tide. And Coach Keating is almost in the huddle yelling right now. I don't blame him. That wasn't Keating. That was his assistant there. But, jeepers Christmas, he's got to be frustrated by that play. So a big play to Feeney from Lurick, but it'll be called back on, I guess what they call the hold. So they'll put the ball back, and now the ball is at the 47. Yeah, back at the 47-yard line. It's 1st and 4. 1st and 4, yeah. 1st and 4, which is an oddity.
Well, they'll get credit for the play to the spot of the foul, which is 15 yards. And then the foul will move them back 10 more yards, roughly. So you're looking at 4.
Okay. Now he pitches to McFarland now. McFarland tries to get outside, and we cannot tackle McFarland. He was hit by 4 guys and still picked up yardage. 2 yards out. They'll mark him. His knee hit at the 45. But, again, the Achilles heel of this Red Tornado team is their inability to tackle a back when they have him. Now, he's a big guy at 215, but when 3 or 4 guys have the shot at you all in succession, you should be going down.
Especially in the backfield.
Yeah, you got to be going down. They've got to find a way to tackle better. Feeney right up the middle. Now, they only needed 4 yards, and Feeney will pick it up, or he's going to be very close. Let's see where they mark him down.
It's going to be just a little short, I think.
When he's in the middle like that, you never know where he's going to actually be marked down until they get everybody unpiled. And once again, Eagle Eye Mark calls it, so it's 3rd down and inside of a yard.
Eagle Eye.
All right. Okay, Lurick brings him up with 3rd and less than 1. And again, a quarterback sneak, and he dropped the ball.
He dropped it.
The ball got dropped. Now, I think he still has it, but he didn't have control of it, and he didn't pick up the 1st down. Yeah, the Red Tornadoes were all over. They had penetration, and you could see him reaching. Now, he did have it, and no, he didn't. He lost it. I knew the ball came out of his hand, but I thought he reached down and picked it up. But he fumbled the ball on a quarterback sneak, and that's, again, now, if you're Coach Keating, you've got to be wondering how that happened. That's the third time they fumbled the ball from the center tonight, and a tough fumble that time, as I didn't see who picked the fumble up. I mean, I had no idea who picked that up inside there, but my goodness. I could see his hands reaching. I knew the ball was floating around there a little bit, but I thought he picked it back up again. So 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes at their own 44-yard line. Haynes. Oh, and Haynes is going to be wrapped up by Feeney. They were all over that play. It was a delayed handoff, and Feeney was there just pretty much when Haynes got the handoff. There'll be a loss on the play of 3 yards. It's 2nd and 13. Okay, we get word that it might have been Jake Shinsky who recovered that fumble. It was hard to tell because I thought he just had the ball, so we're going to give him credit on that. 2nd down, 13 now for the Red Tornadoes. Koga back to pass. Koga looks downfield, and a penalty flag. Penalty flag is going to go down. They're going to call it against the Tide, but I think it might go against the Red Tornadoes. We don't know here. I'm not sure who they're going to call that on.
That one's going against Mount Carmel, I think.
Let's see who they call. Pushing? Ooh. Tide. No. That was an interesting call down there. But Ambrose ran over Belezza is really what it came down to. He saw the ball. He got turned a little bit, and when he turned back, he ran right over Belezza, and they called it on the Tide. So that's a call that I'm sure the Tide are going to wonder a little bit about here as they see the film on that one. But be that as it may, the ball will be set back down at the Tide 44-yard line where it's 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes. 3:50 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Score all tied up, 14-14. And it's Haynes, and this time again, Haynes on 2nd effort. I thought Feeney had him wrapped up, but Haynes bulls his way down to just about the 40-yard line. We'll give him 4 yards in the play, 2nd and 6. Haynes is running like a man possessed, guys.
He gets a little bit of steam, and he keeps going north and south. He's doing really well. East and west is a different story.
Yeah, well, he's not designed to go east and west. He's designed, and I've been saying that from game one. Get your shoulders squared and run, and he can do it.
Pottsville's not a real fast team, but they have pretty decent quickness to the sidelines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we go into an I formation now. Shinsky in front of Haynes. Now, penalty, but I got to figure out who that was against. It's got to go against us.
Play game.
We had a guy jump on the sideline, and the Tide right away started yelling, we couldn't be us, and it wasn't. A delay of game. And that's a costly penalty here at this point in the game. It'll bring up 2nd and 12 now instead of 2nd and 7. And again, you got to just question how these things are happening to us this late in the season here. All right, Kogut will bring him up. He has Haynes as the lone back. He's in that double slot formation. The Tide jumping around on offense. They're adjusting to it. Ambrose in motion. Flag on the play. Haynes trying to bounce it outside. And Haynes does a nice job to get outside. He's tackled down there by Jeff Kozel. But a flag on the play, and I believe that's against the Red Tornadoes, and it is illegal motion. And the Red Tornadoes now have shot themselves in the foot because that's 2 penalties in a row when they're inside Tide territory.
It hurts, Warren. It hurts.
It's just painful to watch sometimes that we do these things this late when you're trying to win a game. It's painful.
Decline that one though.
Well, I would too, because it's already 3rd. It's 3rd and 12. So you're right. That's a good call, Mark, to do that, to decline it. Now, we've seen the quarterback's keeper, the sneak out of the shotgun several times in this type of situation for the Red Tornadoes. We'll see what they do. They do line up in a shotgun. He leaves both backs. Now they both move. Now they're confused, and now they're back where they want to be as Haynes will go into the slot and Shinsky goes back as the protector. Shinsky makes, and that's exactly the play they run. This time the Tide a little bit quicker to the mark, and they bring Kogut down at the 40-yard line, well short of the first down. So they went back one time too many that time, and the Tide all over it. And the Red Tornadoes on a 4th down now and 7, and they will elect to kick the ball and try to put the Tide deep. 2:07 and counting in the 3rd quarter in an all-tied-up game, 12-12. Or 14, 12-12, 14-14.
The wind looks like it's picking up. Kufta might want to keep this one low.
All right, a little low this time, but Kufta gets it off, and he knuckleballs it. It's going to bounce down and bounce sideways, and actually it rolls the wrong way. They'll down it down at the 32-yard line, where it's 1st and 10 Tide. So not much of a kick at all for Kufta.
8 yards.
Almost better going for it on that one.
Yeah, again, the rain is I think, a lot of the problem. The center was, instead of high, it was low this time. And he had trouble getting it off a little bit. So either way, it's 1st and 10 Tide at their own 32-yard line. And Lurik on an inside play to number 8 down there. That's Kozel, and Kozel goes nowhere on the play. The Red Tornadoes may have dropped him for a little bit of a loss. They tried the inside Sally handoff out of the wing tee to the slot back, and he was all tied up by the Red Tornadoes.
That one didn't fool us.
So let's call it 2nd down and almost 11. But again, that is, again, they stopped him, but they left him go a little bit where they had him wrapped up. They've got to, I just can't put my finger on why they can't tackle him. All right, this time Lurik goes back to pass. He's under a lot of pressure, and it's tipped into defensive backfield. A flag goes down, but I think it was tipped.
But I don't know if they're going to call it.
The flag went down in the defensive backfield, but I don't know.
Did they pull it off? Did they wave it off?
No. He's still on the ground, but I thought the ball got tipped.
It got tipped.
If the ball's tipped, I don't think you could have a penalty.
Be a flag.
I'm still going to call
it. Well, that's a payback is all it is because, they're just making up for the play they made wrong before. It's all I can say. It was a tip ball. That's as simple as that. They tipped the ball, and they still called it. So a big break for the Tide. 57 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. The Tide now up at their own 46-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 when they get started here on a very strange call by the referees. All right, Lurik gets him under center, and he's ready to go out of the wing tee. This time it's, and he's loose. It's number 8, Kozel. Kozel downfield, and he'll be brought down finally by Kovaleski and Kufta, but a big run by Kozel all the way into Red Tornado territory at the Red Tornado 16.
48-yard run by Jeff Kossel.
About a 48-yard run for Kozel. 38-yard run by Kozel, 38. And it's 1st and 10 Tide deep in Red Tornado territory at the 16. 43 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Lurik to Feeney, and Feeney had the ball ripped out of his hand, but he fell back on it down there, and is making the stop for the Red Tornadoes is Shinsky, number 34. He takes the ball down to about the 12-yard line. So we'll give him 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 6. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the third quarter of play here in Pottsville. In the third quarter, which didn't help.
Well, Pottsville, at the end of 3 quarters, 241 yards in total offense. Mount Carmel, 181. It doesn't seem exactly like that, but you have a 72-yard pass play, a 56-yard run, and a 38-yard run. It counts for most of it.
This has been notoriously where the Red Tornadoes have fallen and looked tired and out of shape in the fourth quarter this year. And I hate to say that, but that's the truth of it. They have struggled in the fourth quarter, and it seems to be a conditioning thing for them, at least the way they act anyway. Ball's on the ground. Lurie will go down.
Tornadoes
the ball's still, and the Red Tornadoes have recovered it. I got to say that now the Tide, I'm not sure how they continue to fumble the ball, but Lurie never got the ball from the center again. That's the fourth center quarterback exchange problem in the game for the Tide.
I think that might have been 42, Sean McCollum.
Sean McCollum, too, I agree.
So there's the big defensive stand I talked about. At the 11:54 mark, the Tide have turned the ball over. It's 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes at the 12-yard line. And they are struggling with that center snap. I'm not sure what's wrong with it, but he never had the ball in his hand, and as he finally tried to reach for it, the back ran into him because he was expecting to get it. He ran into him and knocked him off it. High formation for the Red Tornadoes. And it's Haynes. Oh, and Haynes meets a wall of people out there. He gains a yard on the play. It's 2nd and 9. That was the entire left side of the Pottsville defense that stopped him there.
It's almost like they knew exactly where he was going on that play.
Yep, definitely read that play.
"15 carries, 42 yards for James Haynes." It would seem like it would be more.
I was going to say, but he's had a much bigger impact than that in the game, I think.
It's been a hard-earned 42 yards.
All right, we have one guy in the backfield out of the double slot, and we go right up the middle, and they're gonna tackle. It's Haynes, and Haynes is gonna go down behind the line of scrimmage. He had really no chance on that play as the Tide were in the backfield instantly. That play, the delayed play is not really a play that's had a lot of success for us. I probably. Looking back in this whole game, I probably wouldn't want to run the delay very many more times because the Tide are able to adjust to that slight delay. The only delay that works is the quarterback delay when he's back there. That works because he's got them spread out. But the halfback and tailback delay certainly hasn't worked. Now, the wind has really picked up, blowing right to left on us. I mean, really picked up hard. Again, the same play, and it goes nowhere, and the Red Tornadoes are marching backward now. So a very ugly set of plays for the Red Tornadoes after they recover the fumble, and now they're going to be kicking close to their own goal line. But the good thing about it is they're going to be kicking into the wind as the wind is gusting now the other way.
With the wind.
With the wind, not into it, with it. Thank you. I got confussed there. I'm looking at the flag which way it's blown, and I'm saying the wrong thing. Now, Kufta will actually kick from his end zone where he lines up. He's 3 yards deep in his end zone.
I watch the snap here.
Snap is perfect. Kufta needs a good kick, and he does this time. He drives the Tide back, all the way back. Oh, what a kick by Kufta, and then it bounces. And so what was going to be good field position now is only average field position for the Tide at their own 36-yard line. Kufta comes up big when he needed to.
54 yards and no return.
He had a couple of tough kicks here to precede this one, and then he's in his own end zone and in a driving rainstorm lets it rip for 54.
Tornadoes have to try to switch the field position game around here a little bit. They're finding themselves deep in their own territory when they're starting their possessions.
Yep. 9:29 now when the Tide snaps the ball. Lurie back to pass. He looks deep. He's trying to head to number 3 down there, and he could not get Biletsa. Actually, too long for Biletsa. And that's a play. If you take a look at that play, guys, that's a one-receiver play. The only guy out there is Biletsa. That's it. They put no one else in the pass pattern, and he throws it always in the same place. That time, just too long.
Yeah, it was the same call as on the touchdown, only
Yeah,
Marcus didn't look in the backfield and was with them the whole way.
Yep, the exact same pathway. There's nothing different about it, and there's no one else to cover. It's just bullets out there.
It's been one-on-one
Now it's
coverage.
one-on-one because the way we were defensively lined up for the run. So you're right, Mark. They isolate him one-on-one, and that's what they look for. Draw play, but actually the back fell down. That's McFarland. He never got himself going, and he'll go down on the play. He'll pick up about a yard. I'm not even sure he got that.
That's it.
You know, it's so raining so hard down there. Even the ref can't hold the ball now. It slipped out of his hand and rolled around on him. So you can tell how ugly the conditions are in this football game for both teams now, as Colesville brings the play into Lurick. It's third down and a long 9. Third down and 9.5. If you want to be accurate with where that yard marker is. Lurick back to pass. Plenty of time. He looks downfield, and he has his receiver down there, Kozel. He had his receiver wide open, and Kozel into Red Tornado territory at the Red Tornado 46-yard line. Nice pass play by Lurick to Kozel, and Kozel has hurt the Red Tornadoes here in the second half.
That's exactly what the Red Tornadoes didn't want to happen to them there on 3rd and long.
So about 21 yards on the pass play, and it's 1st and 10 tied, and it's 8:23 and counting here in an all-tied-up football game, 14-14.
It's a pass I've seen Pottsville run for 40 years, Warren. Back out, runs the circle route, and there it is.
Quarterback keeper this time, Lurick, and Lurick is going to be brought down for a couple of yards. It looked like a design play, but it looked like a fire drill at the end as he couldn't find his blockers. Now he picks up, I think going to pick up 3 yards actually where he finally fell, and that's because the Red Tornadoes actually threw him forward. So we're going to give it, 2 yards. Okay, and then he adjusted it back to 2. So let's go 2nd and 8 for the Tide from the Red Tornado 39. Right up the middle is Feeney. And Feeney picks up some nice yardage on the Red Tornado defense. He'll be brought down in there finally by Shinsky.
Can't even see the numbers anymore.
Yeah, it's tough to see those numbers on the white jerseys now, but it is Shinsky 34. And I apologize, I tried to fool you about Shinsky wearing 54, but with Demetrius, when Demetrius got hurt, Shinsky went back to wearing 34 because he'd spend the majority of his time in the backfield. All right, it's 3rd and about 4 now for the Tide. And he's going to give it to McFarland, and McFarland breaks it outside, and a nice play by Kufta, or McFarland would have scored. Kufta saves the touchdown, but it's 1st and 10 Tide at the Red Tornado 27. It's been all tied here now in the second half offensively. They have been threatening, but have had costly fumbles in this entire game, and part of the reason it's still 14-14. Feeney's brought down in there by McCullum, number 42 for the Red Tornadoes.
3 yards.
Ball right at the 25-yard line now, the Red Tornadoes. 6:12 remaining in this football game, and it's 2nd and 7. Pitch out to Feeney to the short side of the field. Feeney trying to pick his way through, and the Red Tornadoes on a good defensive stand. Feeney gained a couple of yards on the play, and that's about it. Savitsky getting off the McCullum and Shinsky along with Kufta. Shinsky having a nice defensive football game for the Red Tornadoes tonight on that defensive line. So it brings up 3rd down now, and let's call it 5. 3rd and 5 for the Tide. Boletza brings the play into Lurick. Time continues to tick away here in the ball game. 5:16 remaining to play here. As Lurick brings his tide up, he has one guy split way left. He's the only guy split. Kozel goes in motion, and now he will line up out there, but they go right at the middle of McFarland. And McFarland very close to the first down. In fact, McFarland has picked the first down up. So they flood it to the left. McFarland runs left, and he picks up the first down. It's 1st and 10 tied at the Red Tornado 16-yard line.
First down for the Tide.
Kaufman into the Red Tornado lineup.
Now Carmel needs another one of those good defensive stands here.
Okay, I was going to say one guy went in and two guys came out. So okay, no, two. Okay, we almost had too short a guy there. All right, Lurick lines them up.
Looks like they
Motion on the Tide.
No flag.
no flag.
There's no way you can't call a flag on that. Somebody had to throw a flag. There's a flag on the field somewhere.
Nope.
Nope.
Come on, guys. Come on, guys. I mean, how do you miss that kind of play? Jeebers. All right, 2nd down and 9 for the Tide, but clearly the left tackle was offside. And the size of the left tackle, I hope you didn't hear me say that, but he was offside either way. All right, Kozel in motion. It's Kozel with the ball now. Kozel trying to find his way around. And a nice play by the Red Tornadoes as Kozel goes nowhere. That's Kogut on the defensive stop for the Red Tornadoes. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 8 now for the Tide. The ball at the Red Tornado 10, 11, 14. Okay.
Run it to the middle of
10, 11,
run
14.
it to the middle of the
That's that count.
field, set up the field goal.
They may be doing that. I don't know this. I don't know the kicker as well. We did not talk about him in Supper Club at all. But okay, they're shaking their head up here like maybe he could do that. So that may be what they do. They may line it up and try to get a field goal out of the big guy, Barone. All right, Lurick back to pass under pressure from Shinsky. He lets it rip into the end zone. And he penalty flag right at the goal line. They're going to call a penalty as Kozel, number 8, fell into the end zone. And this is about as costly a penalty as you could have. And it'll be, oh my goodness, it'll be first near the goal line here when it's all said and done. That was one tough penalty to take for the Red Tornadoes.
Looks like their feet just might have got tangled up, and you have to call it, though.
Yeah, it didn't look intentional, but either way, it's there. They'll set the ball down. Let's see, when they set it down, they're inside the
Should be
10,
at the 7.
down at the 7-yard line. 1st and goal from the 7 for the Tide. 3:12 remaining in the ball game. It's all tied up, 14-14. Big Red needs a heroic defensive stand here. Feeney picking and choosing, and Feeney into the end zone. Touchdown. Crimson Tide at the 3:07 mark. Feeney takes it in 7 yards, and it's 20-14 Tide here. A methodical drive by the Crimson Tide here late in the 4th quarter to go up on the Red Tornadoes. Barone, number 90, in to attempt the extra point.
Again, we said it. We're shooting ourselves in the feet over and over again.
Yeah, this has been a tough second half mistake-wise for the Red Tornadoes. Lurick, number 5, the quarterback, is the holder in this set. And Barone boots it up and boots it good. So the score now at 3:07. The Crimson Tide of Pottsville area, 21. The Red Tornadoes, 14. Barone getting ready to kick. There is a timeout on the field as a Tide player is hurt on the field. He's down along the 5-yard line. They didn't see what happened to him, but he is being attended to. They're going to try to, he's standing up. It's like a shoulder problem, so they're going to bring him to the sideline here, right along the 2-yard line. Didn't see how he got hurt, but he's definitely in pain. So they're going to watch him come off to the side here. The guy they're looking at is Llewellyn France, number 75.
Warren, 12 plays, 63-yard drive, 6 minutes and 12 seconds. It's just the kind of thing that you want in a 14-14 game.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
if you're Pottsville.
Yeah, if you're going to win a game, that's the way to do it. Now, the Red Tornadoes have 3 minutes and 7 seconds to do something offensively, and we'll see what they have in store. They have played a very good game. They really have. They played a very good game. Some costly mistakes here in the second half have hurt them. And we'll see how they respond here. They're still in the game. All right, Barone says he's ready. So he'll give it a rip, which he does. A nice high kick. Red Tornadoes will take it short. It's DeMarco. I didn't see DeMarco. DeMarco ran up to pick that up. I didn't even see him. He got behind everybody and caught the ball. He takes it out to the Red Tornado 28-yard line, and they'll start at 1st and 10. They now trail in this ball game by 7, 21-14. Exactly 3 minutes mark on the clock.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time, though. They don't need to rush. I think they still have all 3 timeouts left, so.
Yeah, in the second half, you're right. They do. They've not spent any in the second half.
And we're with the wind if there's another positive. So
have to make something happen here.
And a wind it is, I'll tell you what. I mean, it is gusting probably about 15, 20 miles an hour now. Raining as hard as it has all game right now. And that's going some because it's been raining pretty hard all game. Kogut back to pass. Plenty of time. Tried to hit Pahutski. Had him open. Just couldn't get it to him. And again, that's a case of Kogut going the right way, the left way, which you'd think would be his way, but he's not as accurate left as he is right.
it looked like a mix-up in route, Warren. It just didn't look right unless Ryan was expecting him to do something totally different. Nothing looked right on that.
Mm-hmm. All right, it'll be 2nd 10 now for the Red Tornadoes. The ball just at the 30-yard line. All of a sudden, the cheerleading squad in front of us has grown to about 900. Where did everybody come from there? All right, Kogut out of the shotgun. He's looking downfield, and interference. They're gonna
a little bit of holding. I don't think they called it. Dave Avellino got held up.
I got to say, and I haven't said it much this year, but this is an extremely unevenly called football game by the umpiring squad here. Again, if you miss that one, well, if you miss the big guy go offside, you can easily miss that. But very poor non-call there as Avellino was completely held up in the pass pattern, and it's 3rd and 10. In a tight game, you don't need them to miss plays like that, and they just plain missed it. All right. 3rd and 10 now for the Red Tornadoes. 2:49 remaining in the ball game. Shotgun formation. And Kogut under pressure early. He's looking downfield. He's going to let it go. Too high. Intercepted. Intercepted by the Tide right at midfield. Ball's up in the air. It was number 3. Bledsoe intercepted it. The Red Tornadoes punched the ball up in the air, but it went out of bounds on the Crimson Tide sideline. It's 1st and 10. Crimson Tide in Red Tornado territory at the Red Tornado 43-yard line. 43-yard line. So a tough interception by the Red Tornadoes. And the Tide take over, and they have 2 minutes and 34 seconds to try to run this clock out and walk out of here with a well-earned, hard-earned victory.
It looked like the Tornadoes tried rushing that drive a little bit too much.
Lurick. And Lurick gives it to Feeney, and Feeney pick up a couple of yards right in the middle. Again, Shinsky in on the play. Shinsky having a very good defensive effort for the Red Tornadoes. Goins down there also doing his work, and Goins goes without saying as he is just a stalwart on that defensive line. There's a timeout on the field by the Red Tornadoes as Coach Kogut will go into that lineup and talk to the defense. Again, they need to get the ball back is what they're talking about. They have 2:28 remaining. They're down 7. So that whole conversation is how to stop them and get the ball back with some time left on the clock.
Warren, I'm very proud of the way the Tornadoes played tonight. They could have folded the tent last week and could have ended it all and not gave any effort, but they played hard tonight. And it was a 14-point game with up until 3 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. And we got the breaks we wanted, covered 4 fumbles, didn't lose the ball except for this last interception. Had everything go seemingly the way we would have liked to. Missed a couple, 3 big plays.
Yeah.
Cost us the football game.
Yep. Yeah, again, made some mistakes in the second half that hurt us penalty-wise. But
Penalty-wise.
not effort mistakes, just goofy mistakes.
Absolutely not effort mistakes.
And, it's come back to haunt us. And now we've had a couple of uneven moments here in the umpiring side of it also that didn't help. I'm not saying it's changed the game, but it certainly has colored the game a little bit as we near the end here. And now it's McFarland, and McFarland will pick up a couple of yards. He's going to be brought down in there by big number 65, Mike McCullum. The Red Tornadoes call timeout again. Coach Brennan, if nothing else, this umpiring crew will have a clear understanding of Coach Brennan here as he has made himself known in the last few minutes of this game. Not happy at all. And I don't know if you've seen Mike unhappy, but when he's unhappy, there's no mistaking what's going on there when he decides to be unhappy. But I'll tell you what, I'm not going to be able to forget the job that he and his staff have done to bring this team back from you went from the depths of a schedule last week into just one of the highs of the season. I mean, I know they're not ahead yet, but playing against a AAA school that's a playoff-bound school, or so it seems, and playing away in a rainstorm, I think they're doing pretty good. Playing without their starting quarterback, I think they're doing very well.
Lost the new starting fullback.
Yeah, lost their fullback in the first couple of plays, so nice effort so far. It's 3rd and 6. We pitch it to McFarland, and this time McCullum says, no, never, How'd you like that one? Oh, look at Mark. Didn't see that one coming, did you?
No.
Never saw that coming, did you?
You got me speechless that time.
4th and 6 now, and the Red Tornadoes have called their final timeout.
John Long in on that tackle, too, with Mr. McCollum. John's going to be a good one, too. John works real hard in the weight room, and there's a lot of good people coming back. We're very fortunate, and hopefully this is going to be something they'll remember, that they can come back and it'll springboard them into getting to work in the off season.
Well, I mean, bottom line, no matter what else you're thinking here, most of these kids you're going to see back. I mean, that's the good sign, is that there are a good bit of them coming back here. Very few seniors graduate off this Red Tornado team. They are now out of timeouts at the 2:14 mark of the ball game. It's 4th and 6, and the Tide, I'm assuming, will kick. I'm assuming they'd want to draw. Yeah, they are. Okay, I was getting nervous there for a second, but number 31 in the ball game, Mason Schaefer, and he will kick to the Red Tornadoes. They'll go back down around their 15-yard line and expect to receive it. And now a timeout is called by the Crimson Tide, Coach Keating. And I'm not sure, that's what I thought. Coach Keating didn't have everybody in the ball game. Somebody had to sneak off the sideline without being seen. And Coach Keating is about as animated as Coach Brennan when he's unhappy. I will say that for him. All right, they will do so now. The Red Tornadoes are setting down at their 10-yard line to receive this thing. And he gets a nice kick that bounces down, and the Red Tornadoes have to let it roll, and that's a killer as it rolls inside the 10-yard line down to the 9-8. It is 1st and 10 from the 8. The Red Tornadoes have 92 yards to go in 2 minutes and 4 seconds if they want to tie this game up, as they trail 21-14 here in a rainy, and I mean rainy, Veterans Memorial Stadium.
It's raining?
Ooh. Guys, look out that window. That's just plain ugly out there. I mean, it has never stopped raining, but as I said, it's been getting incrementally harder as this game went on. All right, Kogut goes into a shotgun formation. He has a trips left. He rolls left, looks down. He's got Ambrose, and Ambrose, nice play along the sideline, and Ambrose will tiptoe up the Crimson Tide sideline all the way out to the Red Tornado 29-yard line, where it's 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes.
That's what the Tornadoes needed there, get out of their own, deep in their own territory. And also got out of bounds there, stopping the clock.
And you always get nervous when you're inside the 10 starting off all the time, Mark. You're exactly right. So they get some breathing room here. 1:56 now as Ambrose took it out of bounds the way he's supposed to. There are no timeouts left for the Red Tornadoes, so they got to use the sideline here to get upfield. Kogut rolls the other way, looks downfield, and he's got his guy. It was Ambrose again, and Ambrose now a little too tall for him as he got it up in the air that time. And again, with a slippery ball, it's going to have to be pretty close to the mark to try to catch it here.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting enough, the Crimson Tide have the like the Florida State.
The chop.
I'm not sure how the Crimson Tide used the chop as their signature song, but
I thought that whole thing was supposed to go by the wayside a few years
Yeah,
ago when there were
me too.
complaints with everything, and it seems to be more popular than ever.
yeah, I just don't know how it associates with the Tide, but be that as it may. Kogut in the shotgun on 2nd and 10. Low center, he picks it up. He's got plenty of time. He lets it wing. He's got Pahutsky is who he's looking at.
Yeah.
Penalty. They called it this time as they ran into Pahutsky as he went up to catch it. And it'll move the ball. A big penalty. A minute 41 in the game. The Red Tornadoes have a 1st and 10. And we'll see where they set the ball down.
Should be on the 44.
Who's 44? R44, right. Okay. So.
Still a minute and 41 left.
Plenty of time.
Yeah, I mean, the Red Tornadoes are far from out of this game here.
I don't want to hear any fans this week. You know, they've been pretty critical of the football team.
Really?
Maybe we're a little spoiled in Mount Carmel. But I don't want to hear anybody say this team quit.
No. Oh, no.
Definitely
I
not.
don't want to hear those words this week.
You're right. Ball right at the 4. You know, you need to spend more time on this because Wayne and I would have been guessing this one until they actually snapped the ball. All right, 1st and 10 from the 44. He looks downfield. Plenty of time now. Plenty of time. He decides to tuck it. Now he has no timeout, so he's got it. And now the ball, they're going to put the ball down. Ball is down. Clock is running.
Be running, yep.
The Red Tornadoes need to line up. They need to get back up and line up. It's 2nd. Okay, they're bringing the play, and Demko will bring the play into Kogut. Shinsky will go out. Ambrose comes in.
They have to move here.
But we're wasting too much time here, guys. Come on, turn. Let's go. Way too much time in the huddle. Way too much time. Come on, guys.
They don't know what they're doing anyway.
Snap the ball, guys. All right, we're trying to. No, Lord. 51. Counting 50, plenty of time. Looks downfield, incomplete. Trying to hit Pahutsky. Oh my goodness, guys! You were under the gun here.
Wasted about 16 seconds there.
All right, it's 3rd and 16 now for the Red Tornadoes.
I think he's got to go throw something underneath Warren and I don't know.
Well, you got to pick up a 1st down here first before you do anything. You know, you have 2 downs here to do it, so
They're
don't go nuts here. Get to the sideline. Nah, just couldn't. He's not able to hold on to the ball, and the way he looks now. I mean, he's looking at the pattern was wrong. The way he acted there, it may have been. I mean, it looked like he wasn't expecting that pattern so deep, but. You got to remember that he is not the starting quarterback. He's come in and taken over those duties and done so admirably. But he's now down to 1 play.
This is a deep throw here.
1 play will determine the game here for the Red Tornadoes as Kogut now will go back in. The clock was stopped on the incompletion. It's 4th and 16. They're going to get – his hand is up in the air. He's got to snap the ball. Okay. My goodness. I'm getting frustrated here. Downfield we go. Trying to hit Demko. It falls incomplete. The Tide will take over on downs, and that's the football game, folks. 34 seconds remaining. The Tide go on offense, and they are celebrating rightly so. But they know they were in a ball game tonight here with the Red Tornadoes. Every umbrella on the sides here stood up and got out at the exact same time here. So the Tide, my guess, will take a knee. Coach Keating and Coach Brennan, good friends. Of course, Coach Brennan from the Pottsville area here. And has a lot of friends and family, of course, here in the Pottsville area. And Keating does the honorable thing, as he always does. They take a knee, and that, ladies and gentlemen, I do not believe, well, they didn't set the clock. Coach Keating has gone out.
That's it.
Oh, my goodness. That is the set. It's 19 seconds. They do not have to snap. Coach Keating is looking for Coach Brennan. Coach Brennan is looking for an umpire. And Coach Brennan has had his say with those umpires about as much as you could tonight. Actually, Coach Babinski had his say there, Jose, for a minute, too. I'm not sure what particular moment in time they were mad about.
No, they probably had a few choices.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There were
Definitely.
a couple of things in the second half you could have talked about. But the game will end here at Pottsville area. The Red Tornadoes will fall 21-14. They go to 4-5 on the season with one game remaining at home against the Seals in Selinsgrove. They'll be in the Silver Bowl next, Friday. It's just Wednesday we're seeing this. So they'll be here on Friday. So we want to get you guys set for that. We're going to go to the game statistics now and have Jose tell us how this game went.
Real quickly, Warren. For Pottsville, 39 rushes, 191 yards, 3 of 9 passing for 108. Total offense, 299 yards, 11 first downs. For Mount Carmel, 35 rushes for 180. No, I'm sorry. 33 rushes for 161 yards, 3 of 15 passing for 39 yards. Total offense of 200 yards, also 11 first downs. You have to give them credit for the effort. You're looking at the defending state champion runner-up from last year, AAA team, and us coming off a demoralizing loss against Schick. You got to commend their effort and their resilience to play as hard as they did, and they were still in a game on the last play of the game. And Coach Brennan and the rest of his staff did an outstanding job, and I give all the credit to the kids.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't see a lot of negatives here. I'm obviously we made the same mistakes we've been making, and I'm not sure we can solve that this year. It is what it is, but they played with heart, desire. They played like a Red Tornado football team, and that's all you can ask them to do. Again, everything you want from them from a loss last week, you could just simply not ask for more than they gave you. Coach Brennan, my hat is off to you. You did a great job to bring them back, a great job to have them competitive, and a great job to keep them in the game right to the last play, as Jose said. So a lot of positives here. Now, Jose, we talked a little bit about this. I'm not sure we said it on the air about what this team is facing now. They're 4-5, and they have what is considered to be one of the favorite AAA schools to win a state championship this year, to tell you the truth, as the Seals come marching in a couple of days' time.
Well, the one thing we don't know is what they've done tonight with Montoursville. Montoursville, one of the AA favorites in District 4. At the time that we're doing this game, we don't know what happened, but Selinsgrove, obviously the favorite, going to be obviously very tough to beat next week. The consequences are if Mount Carmel loses the game and finishes the season at 4-6, it'll mark the first time since 1987 we've had a losing season. It'll mark only the third time since 1958, and it'll be the 13th time in a 114-year history of Mount Carmel football, something that we're not used to. I think there's a lot of things came into play this year. Obviously, the biggest thing, the injury to Mark Washaleski. I don't know how you overcome that. Ryan Kogut did as admirable his job as you could hope for. We're young at some of the key positions, and I think off-season weight program is going to start early in November this year.
Yep.
I know that. I know it's a necessity and a must, and I just think that there's a great team just waiting on the horizon at Mount Carmel.
Well, you talk about the weight room, and I want to say a minute here. I want to say thank you and give my kudos to Tony Chickatano. Tony Chickatano volunteered to get inside that weight program, and I'll say this on the air, and I'll say it quite frankly, the weight program was a disaster. It was something that we didn't do very well, and I'm not sure the whole reasons, nor do I care. What I care about is that we said we're going to fix it, and we did. This team will, and you could see it already, the difference in this team. And by next year, with an extensive weight program that's in place now, and Tony Schick basically kicking butt, I think you're going to see a big difference. That was where one of the areas that we were lacking was in the weight program. It's why we got the crap kicked out of us in the fourth quarter a lot. So I think you're going to see that change. So there's a lot of positives. Very few seniors. I feel bad for the seniors as we look at this last game coming up. Obviously, this is not the way they wanted their career to end in red and white. But I also look at the positives and see a lot of young kids who are looking at a big thing ahead of them coming, in the next couple of years.
You're right, Warren. And one of the things that you just struck me when you talked about the seniors, it'll be the first senior class to leave Mount Carmel football since the senior class of 1993 that at least one member didn't walk away with the state championship ring. Last year, just one, Joe Dowkus, the starting freshman on the 2002 team. But it shows that we've come down a little bit. But you know what? How many people can claim 5 state titles and play in a 6th championship game? And we will be back. Mount Carmel is not finished playing football. Don't anyone doubt that for one moment.
Well, and that I think, I'm going to say that, and we all get frustrated. We all got this was probably the most frustrating season that I've ever watched in Mount Carmel history. And I say frustrating, but I'm going to counter that by I'm not saying it was bad. It was frustrating because somehow or other we had the talent there in a couple of games to win that we didn't. And that's what frustrates. Some games we weren't going to win. I understand that, But what I want to say, and it's important, I think the frustration you hear in town, around the area is a frustration of just wanting to be number one. They want the tradition. Now, I don't want to ever forget that tradition, and I don't want anybody out there, and this has struck me odd that some people said, well, this happens, and maybe your time is done. Our time isn't done. I mean, I don't believe it's done. I believe that Mike Brennan is going to come back next year. We're going to be back in 2 days, and he's going to play a competitive game, and who knows? But either way, he's coming back next year, and he's going to put that red and white helmet on the field, and that Mount Carmel area mystique and tradition is going to come back. Now, what would be nice is everybody had a little bit of a positive attitude about it and got behind us and did all the things we got to do.
Well, Warren, looking out here tonight and last week lends me to say that we talk about our fans and the great fans that we're supposed to have. I don't know that we had 300 people at Shikellamy last week, and I'm not sure there was 150 there tonight.
No, I mean, this weather, I can almost understand this weather a little bit, but still in all.
But still, we expect these kids to do everything on their behalf.
Yeah.
When I think that we've claimed over the years that Tornado pride and our Tornado tradition is this whole community banding together to win football games, and we like to take credit when actually it was the players out on the field. But if we're going to take credit at those times, we should also take responsibility when they don't win.
And stand up.
And not stand by them and support them. And I honestly believe that we're still headed in the right direction, and I believe that these kids, whether you want to believe it or not, understand what their responsibility is to this program and to their long-standing tradition, and I believe that they're going to right this ship.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. And I'm going to tell you this now. We had 70 people at Supper Club last week. That tells you right there. We have never gone below the 70 mark. So we got some fans. We got good people out there. We'll have 70 tomorrow or more. You know what? You want to show your support? Then let's have 100 down there tomorrow night. And I'll tell you what. Get your butt out of your house and get it down to the Silver Bowl. And whether we go anywhere further than this, or we stop right here, or we get our butts kicked, we need to get the people down there and have one last time for these seniors and show them that they're Mount Carmel and we're Mount Carmel. Quit hanging our heads and let's get going here.
We got to show them that we are proud of what they do and the work that they put in. And lest anybody believe that they did not put time in, I don't know where they've been keeping themselves, because they've been in the weight room, they run, they did passing scrimmages all summer, they've put tons and tons of work in, and it was not for lack of effort. And I don't believe that for one moment.
No. All right, we're going to have to wrap this up, guys. I want to say quickly, I want to say hello and wish my best wishes to young Wayne Brokenshire and Mike Locus. And I'm not going to go into detail there, but they know what we're talking about.
Ditto for me.
All of us, all of us here, our hearts and our prayers have been with you. We know it's going to be okay. We miss Wayne. Wayne will be back next week. You will be back next week.
I need
you
to
have no choice. We're coming for you. So Mark will be back. Jose will be back in his traditional spot on the sideline, probably lurking down there. And I want to say thank you again, Mark. You did an admirable job filling in on the color. Didn't even know you were going to do it till you got here. Well, and, of course, Jose, I want to thank you for coming up here and spending time and trying to help us out with Wayne's absence. And, again, I am Warren Altamar.
I'm Mark Stankiewicz.
Jose Gonzalo.
This has been a sports presentation of WKMC TV. Thank you and good night.